I think 5-6 years ago, while reading Roerichs' travel records of the expedition, George Roerich's book, I saw a picture of an old wooden house. And suddenly an idea struck me that there is a similar house in Ulaanbaatar. It seemed to me I have seen this house. And I was reading this book in the evening, and just early morning I went, before going to my office, I went to this house with the book, and with the picture of this house. And so I had started to work to save this house, and I applied to the city government, asking and explaining that this is a very historical house. It shouldn't be there.
Nicholas Roerich, where he lived in the mid-1920s during his month stay in Mongolia. It was part of his search for Shambhala and his greater interest in sacred places around the world. Many of his paintings were made here, and also a considerable amount of his writings. He lived here with his son George, and also traveled with his wife. The house after he lived here was used as a general residence, and I think until something like 3 years ago a couple were living in a part of it. Unfortunately, most of the wood on the north side is degenerated, probably from wind and sand. Here we are at the Nicholas Roerich house, where Roerich lived 1926-1927 with his wife Helena and son George, and busy trying to restore and rebuild it. Here we have Bat George, our great project manager and former director of the National Museum and designer of something like 150 museums across the country. Oh God. Put back on.
Olan su milzici hargıdat Havutsallı tapçıllasını mırrın golli was Mellili tinkin tellili tinkin Beynimi gittiği için Yürüdü dülzite Hittiri tirişin ugun borlu Hıngaydın tegeminde Ondan şaranuru gini verin Tüşün garra diriwit Korun tohven zandın şoğimat Uru şoğun hegat Korvalcın zote var halzın toda geçin Ondan har burgitin Berin namnin şurum Benimi gittiği için Yürüdün ülzite İttiri tirişin ugun borlu Hangaydayn tegeminde Rolta tefsin marindin Nillili kholili bigite hangashu Unchum bore nemtinda Hırsho tekin hangaydayn tegeminde Çüttürüca tefsin marindin Summulu kummulili bigite
Zandan immeleng immelengОхissa shingmarindo marindo Karad bahi dallo shula dallo
Thank you all here on this very auspicious occasion.
Well, I was quite a child when I was 5 or 6 years old. I was given by my father as a student to the Gondan Monastery. I was born in 1927. It means in 1933, 4, 5, 6, something like in 1930s. Yeah, he was a traditionally Mongolian man. He was a rather rich man, and he believed very much. He was a religious person. He had very good contacts with the Gondan Hure monasteries, and he always supported the monasteries and lamas. He was I would say, a great alms giver. Great alms giver because he donated much to monasteries and lamas and supported all religious ceremonies and so on.
What happened with him during the time of the cultural purges?
Was during this hard period he was of course arrested in 1937 and was shot within a month.
And your teacher, Ngakramba?
And my Hamba Agramba Lama was also arrested in 1937. And of course, I don't know his fate, but I think he was also killed.
Yeah.
I think so. Of course, Khrushchev's period is a special period. It is a special period in the history of Russia, I think, in the history of communism, I think. It was a more liberal period. And so I was again sent to Moscow to study. And during this, it was at this period I had met George Roerich, the son of Nicholas Roerich. Yeah. And so it's so coincided in the one and the same year, that's 1957. I came from Ulaanbaatar to Moscow to study, and George Roerich also came back to Moscow. He was permitted to come to Russia, to return to Russia. He came to Moscow just 1 month before my arrival to Moscow. Yeah, it was a happy fate, I would say. Very happy period, for me, at least. Yeah. My meeting with George Roerich was in 1957. And at this period, I was a student of the Institute for Oriental Studies of the Russian Academy of Science, and I was looking for my professor to learn Tibetan and Sanskrit, and also to be guided in writing my doctor's thesis. I was looking for my tutor. It was a happy fate, I would say, very happy period for me.